I lost the. Here it is. Hey there, welcome to Truth Tuesday, second half. On my channel, first half is over on Lisa's. You can check that out later. Make sure you give a like. Um, it's good to see everyone here for round two. Has been interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. We talked about how the bald eagle was never legally declared, but well, we talked about the controversy of how the bald eagle was never
Yeah,
legally the.
it's very interesting.
Yeah, because I remember being taught that in my government school.
And I thought it was interesting that we brought up, or you brought up the fact that Grok said, because I said specifically by law, and
Yeah.
then he, I always call him Grok, he.
Grok's kind of a guy's name.
It does sound like a dude's name.
Yeah.
Plus, wasn't there a football player named Grok?
Gronk.
Gronk.
It's
Yes.
short for Gronkowski, but that's his last name. But yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought something like that. So
it sounds more like a Conan.
Yeah, it sounds like a man name. But anyway, so because and then it misled me and said by law.
It was by law it
but
was like
not by law.
1779 or something.
So once again, AI was hallucinating and making stuff up.
It's odd that we're both going to be talking about stuff from the 1700s.
Huh.
I'm going to talk about something that's cool. Lisa, Sean, and the mods go above and beyond.
Oh,
thank you very much. It's
Thank
very nice.
you. That's very sweet.
Merry Christmas to everyone and Happy New Year.
Yes, Merry Christmas.
So, this drone thing is weird. I do think it is I think it was a real problem. It was a real thing that happened. But then it goes back to the Churchill thing: don't let any good crisis go unexploited, or whatever.
Sure.
So I think that's what the big distraction is, and maybe it is to bring in the the alien things. But there's also, I wanted you to talk to public about this because he's there in New Jersey.
Yeah.
So I want to know what's going on with him.
Well, I talked to Johnny about it last Thursday. Johnny and I talked about it.
Where's he at?
He's in Jersey.
He's in Jersey too? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The land of my birth.
Watch that show. That's from
so there's a lot of really weird things. And you know that guy who did the sheriff who did the video? Joe Rogan talks about him. He was like, he had all of his deputies behind him. And he's like, to all you members of whatever gang, we're going to kill you. Basically, he said that. He's like, yeah, he's hilarious, cool, crazy stuff. But he became a senator. And he was a former sheriff. So he's talking about the drone thing. And he's like, why can't we shoot these things down? Why can't we go after them? The states, and then this guy, because they're giving like these BS answers. Like, they're lying when it comes to the Defense Department, but they're not asking. I just don't think they're asking the right departments. You can tell they're hiding something. And then Trump came out and said they know what it is. They know. I don't know why they don't tell them. But this guy's like, why don't we have states allow, to have their own sovereignty and shoot these things down, find out what they are? He said, is it legal to punch somebody? He's like, no, but a cop can punch you if it needs in the course of arresting you. Is it legal for you to go hit somebody with your car? No, but police hit people with their cars, to initiate an arrest or to take a car off the road if they're in a high-speed chase. He said, law enforcement has the authority to do certain things, and we have the authority. I know you're saying it's an aircraft and you can't shoot it down, Bob, but government agencies, our state government agencies and state law enforcement have the authority and technology to do something about this. So why don't we do this? Like I said on your channel, I think the world's over. We're done. Human rights is finished. 2030, we're all dead. Or it's a whole new age for humanity. and
I'm
everything's
cool with that version.
It's one or the other. But I know it's something's happening in the next 4 years that it's dramatic. Um, and there's a lot of people that think that the veil between worlds is thinning to where these things have always been there. We can just see them now. There's a lot of them look like the explanation of what certain angels look, are in the Bible. Um, but also, and this is the whole NASA doctoring pictures and stuff. A lot of the actual what they look like or what planets look like to amateur people with telescopes, unfocused stars.
Really?
Yeah, I mean exactly. So it's there's a lot of scientific, there's a lot of religious stuff, um, but there is also. Oh, I gotta move this, or else I'm gonna have a thing where there's like 1,000. Do you hear that?
Yeah, the train.
Damn. All right. Leo always hears. I don't know how. I don't hear it. He hears it, and he's like, "What do you live on the tracks?" I'm like, "No, it's like a mile away, man."
You're just probably numb to it. When I lived, well, in Edmond, there's in one house that I lived in, my parents like would come visit and they're like, "Oh my gosh, we couldn't sleep because the train." And I was like, "I don't even hear the train," but you just get used to it when you live by it.
Yeah, I guess but it's. I don't even hear it, man. Let me see. So this is still low. See this. These sites are not working very well. Um,
The Wi-Fi here was really slow last night.
I'm not allowed because okay. So there's let me.
You said you before we started that you, like one map was working and then now it won't let you update it or something.
Like going to Geiger counter, it won't show me the last month. It just goes to loading. The last 2 weeks just goes to loading. But you could see 89 is very high. It's very, very high.
Is that like percentage? The same thing?
No, that's computer defined CPM computer. What does CPM mean as with nuclear?
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Yeah, I worded that wrong. I think it's like something with
radiation?
the radiation levels.
Okay.
But you can appear at New Haven. That's I know Chernobyl was like 380, and that's was in New Haven, Connecticut.
Oh my God.
Well, yeah. So what the hell's going on there? And then also up in Canada, right here. Look at this, 264 in Montreal.
Right outside of Montreal. Oh,
Those
terrible.
are unbelievable. But forget about those. Forget about those nuclear levels that like a bomb went off. In this area here, there's been like really, really high. They were, I know, over 200 when the site was working like a few days ago
Mm-hmm.
in this area. What is this? This is now. It is, which has been changed. See now, with the other map, there's
not even
all
showing
those high ones, and they're not even showing the other. Yeah. So it's weird because people have been going there and talking about it on YouTube. But what's the thing is, there's missing radioactive material in New Jersey.
I saw that from about a month ago.
No, a few weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not like a. Oh, well, see, you know what? You mentioned Sean Ryan, which is interesting because he had this woman on who wrote a book about the CIA and a lot of the dirty stuff they do, blah, blah, blah.
She's former
Count per
CIA.
million. Thank you, Coffee Stocks. Coffee Stocks, you are on point today. So, but she said that the next, and what they're worried about and what the next attack they think will be that is coming, it's not if, it's just when, is a dirty bomb.
Mm-hmm.
So they only need some kind of nuclear material to make a dirty bomb. It's not, I mean, it'll hurt a city, it'll kill a town or two, but it's terrible. But it's not like, destroy a state, not like a real nuclear attack, but it's a nuclear attack. So what it was stolen? It's not lost. It's not lost in transit. It was broken into. The container was broken into, and it was stolen. It was radioactive waste from an MRI machine that was in transit. So it is nuclear material and nuclear waste that could be used for that. And that is what's gone missing. The fact that that's not a huge story and a big deal.
Did I tell you about the MRI machine at Children's Hospital?
No.
And why they haven't been able to scan Canon for the last like almost year now?
No.
And I don't know if this is going on at other hospitals. So, and they took the unit off site, which makes no sense to me. So they said they had a leak in the building. 6 months ago or more, they said there was a pipe burst in the basement where the MRI machine was. And then now they're saying there was a leak in the roof and that water dripped and somehow it damaged the machine, or now they've had to remove the machine completely from the building. But the leak somehow got mold all the way down through every floor. And now they're having to go floor to floor and do remediation. That makes zero sense to me.
Yeah, that is weird.
I wonder if the machine was leaking radiation, not
and they have
water.
They have to sterilize it or whatever.
And they're remediating the building from radiation or something. Or is that the MRI machine that's missing that you're talking about? Even
no, this was a part of it. It was nuclear waste basically.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Lost. It wasn't lost. The container was broken into, and it was taken. So, like I said, if these are, I believe that it started, in my personal opinion, that it started out with radiation sniffing drones, which may not be military. They may belong to the EPA or the nuclear whatever.
Interesting.
That agency. But then it's like, hey man, don't let this go unused. Let's start throwing, see how far we can push people, because we know we're not going to try another gingivitis outbreak, because we're going
while we're sniffing, let's try a psyop.
Yeah, we're going to get pushed. So this is, and then I watched this thing. This guy, he teaches. He was an instructor in the CIA and for other governments in how to conduct psyops. And he's like, I've never said this in public, but this is how you can tell something is a psyop. It was really interesting. Mm-hmm. It's like, if you hear, first off, you should only go to like Reuters. He's like the New York Times, certain publications that are like that are the most trusted. But if they all use the same wordage or close to the same words, run. He said, unprecedented. He gave like certain words. If they use the words,
script.
Then forget it. It's definitely a psyop. But I thought that's what I thought. This was very interesting. But also that no one really is talking about. It's a big deal that you've got these.
Also, on that map, I have a question. Were those high EPM locations by water? Could it be submarines?
No, they don't went on land. They don't even measure
the water. On land. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think they even measure the water.
I was just wondering if the nuclear could be delivered by submarine.
But that's what I was about to say. That so and another thing, I posted like that thing on Facebook that the crazy people were saying this UFO stuff was coming, and now we got all these drones. And some dude who I don't know, I'm not friends with, comes on and like starts arguing with me. Like, have you seen anything? I'm like, why are you here? Why do you like? Who are you? You know? And then I was like, yeah, there's lots of reported sightings and blah blah blah. And he said, yeah, but by is anyone seen like groups of them or anyone from the? I was like, yeah, one sheriff said that they saw 30 coming off the ocean. And that was a county sheriff in New Jersey. So 30 drones coming in, obviously from a ship, because it came in from the coast, from the water. Um, that's alarming. And for the military to not be alarmed, that means they have to know. Um, like the J6 thing. Who was it? Patel. Patel, I watched an interview with him like a year ago. And he was like, so we need to know if there was, government agents at the J6 and they were put there on purpose. That means it had to have been planned at least 6 months in advance because that's how the FBI, that's how the government works. When they have an operation, they need this many months to set it up.
Training.
And training. So if we prove they were there, that means it was planned months in advance. And he said that a year ago. And now the FBI is admitting that there were like 20 people, but only like 4 of their informants were like that they were sent there. But the rest of the people went there on their own. But there was like 20 or something. So it's coming out. It's good. That's going to be a thing. But I thought it's weird how no one's talking about this, and also how on the Sean Ryan show this chick said that this is going to be the next big attack. Is going to be what did she call it? Homeland attack.
Yeah,
homeland attack. Is next one will be a dirty bomb, some kind of nuclear thing. And
she was an amazing interview. She also talked about how they were going to blame it on ISIS because the way that
it.
Oh yeah, okay. ISIS and and Hamas and what's the other group are all working together and they're training together.
Yeah, they're all and I think there is no.
And the new leader of Al Qaeda.
That's it. Al Qaeda and ISIS are the same thing.
It's all the same thing.
They've all become the same thing, and now Hamas.
And now they don't care so much about getting the credit for it. They just want mass deaths of Americans.
Yeah, because they're beat.
Right. They're beat. And so they just want.
She said, and this is something I said, that because everyone was wanting to know what Trump's going to do, and are we going to send people into the Middle East? And I think we're just going to let Israel do what it wants to do, and I think Britain's going to do the same thing, and let them take care of things so we don't have to dirty our hands with it. But kind of just let the junkyard dog go and do terrible things to everybody, and then be like, oh, it's terrible, you shouldn't do that. Oh, so what are you doing? Oh my gosh. And then basically, I mean, Syria's fallen, for God's sake. Mm-hmm. There's so much that
and Trump hinted around that it's really Turkey that is behind a lot of that.
Yeah, Turkey's been trying to get in there for a long time. Turkey is a weird wild card when it comes to NATO. But I think the drone thing, there's several ways to look at it. The religious aspects of it are odd. Like I said, I think we're all gonna die. I really do. Yes. But do you know the story of the painting called Checkmate?
No, I don't.
Okay. This actually kind of falls in with the fact that the bald eagle was not the bird, but probably was the bird.
Oh, cool.
The United States. So when we talked about this, when a brand becomes what you call something, like you call something Reynolds Wrap, you know what it is. That's but it's a brand. Or call I can't believe I forgot. What do you call plastic wrap?
Logo?
Yeah, what do you call plastic wrap?
Saran wrap?
Saran wrap. Yeah, and it's saran. That's a brand.
Okay.
It's actually called plastic wrap or cellophane or something.
Right. Mhm.
So when a brand and how everyone in the whole South, every soda is Coke.
Yes.
So that's just weird. But a lot of times a brand or something changes. The Volkswagen Beetle, the new one,
Band-Aid is the perfect one.
Band-Aid, perfect one.
Band-Aid. Yeah.
But the Volkswagen Beetle,
Hmm.
when that first came out, it was called the Jetta. It's called the new Jetta, but nobody called it that because it was a Beetle. It was an obvious copy of the Beetle from the 70s and 60s,
Hmm.
and they changed it to where now they even call it the Beetle. But it wasn't that. So this painting is called Checkmate, and it was
Sure.
in the Louvre. Um, it was this from the 1700s. It was this guy playing chess against Satan. Obviously, he was playing for his soul, and he's like he's lost. The devil's like got a smirk, and there's an angel that looks very sad, and this dude's like stressed out. Um,
Do you have a picture of it?
yeah.
If not, I'm gonna look it up.
So this is the thing, right? Um, it was in the Louvre forever. Now some rich guy owns it. He bought it in like 1999, but it was always called Checkmate because the devil beat this dude, got checkmate. He's his in check. But so this is how the story goes. Um, there was a tour group going through the Louvre, and one of the people in the tour group was a grand chess master.
Mm.
Just happened, to be going through, and so they're going through blah 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 blah, and he stops at this painting, and he starts staring at it, and the tour moves on, and he keeps staring at it, and then the tour person sees that dude's not in the tour. They go back. They're like, "Hey, we got to come back to the tour." And he was like, I want to talk to the I want to see the manager basically, because he said this is not a this. Why is this called Checkmate? This is the name of it. And then they had to find it's actually called the the Checken Spielen, which means the chess players, was the actual name of the painting. But for hundreds of years, it had been called Checkmate because that's what people. That could be uh, a narrative they wanted to put forth. But look at the angel. The angel looks like sad, everything. But the chess master said the devil hasn't won. He said this guy has one move. The king has one move left, and when he moves his king, he's going to win the game.
Mm.
So this painting should not be called that. This is wrong. Um, but people had for hundreds of years had got this narrative that the devil won this guy's soul, um, and it's just basically kind of giving the devil power. But the king always has one more move, is what the actual meaning of the painting was, and that he's going to win. Um, which I thought was cool because
That is
I am kind of a doom.
well, and especially with the like angel watching over him and all that.
Mm-hmm.
You're not alone, and
But I'm kind of a doomsayer, but it's
I
like
know you.
the king has one more move left. Um, okay. Um, I think that's about all I had that I wanted to go over.
Well, I think that's great
Um,
stuff, and it end on a positive note.
there,
That's
there
good.
was one more thing. Oh, yeah. I mean, don't shoot at drones because you'll get arrested. You can be charged with federal crime of shooting
That's
an
true.
aircraft.
You get arrested.
You
Yeah.
can't even shine, and that's another thing that they're talking about in that's coming out in the media is people are shining laser pointers at drones, and don't do that. They're like, don't do that, because they're getting complaints of people shining their laser pointers at airplanes and helicopters, and I'm like, no, they're not. But that's a crime too. If you have a high powered like laser pointer and you point it up at the sky and you hit a plane, that actually is a crime. Um, but I've seen video of the drone shooting at the ground with tracer bullets, well, with some kind of you know red dots, whatever they are.
Mm.
And then you showed that video of literally like a fight, a dog fight, where one came in at the at that one, and then it hit it and it went straight down.
Mm.
So there's some weird stuff going on up there.
Yeah, I saw another video where some people reported that one was stuck in a tree. That's because I think some people are sending you had even said earlier, people are sending their individual drones up to try to look at
Yeah,
the drones. They're calling everything a drone right now.
yeah.
Which, some of them may be some kind of
But also these are the size of Suburbans.
planes or something, or
They're
helicopters.
they're the size of cars, vehicles. They're
Yeah,
Suburban.
yeah. I don't
They're
know.
not like regular, you know, little drones.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
but
strange.
and again, when it comes to the military or the government in general, they're always at least 20 years ahead of whatever we have.
Mhm.
And there are drones for people now, but they're supposed to be um, like in beginning stages. They're not in mass production. They're like they're trying to make a personal drone that you can drive around in, and they have made that. But if private companies and startups have that, that means that the government has other
At least
that was
that.
that was
Yeah,
like years and years ago.
that's at least the base. Yeah.
Um, but the fact that so many people have said the same thing. Whenever they send your drone up, as soon as it gets anywhere close to it, it dies. Battery die. Like that Obama movie you talked about, all the cars just shut off.
Hmm.
Same thing. And you were talking about how like all the electric cars are acting weird and doing
Yeah.
jazz hands.
Security systems are going off and the lights are flashing and all
Yeah.
that. That's what a video I saw from New Jersey.
But that's also the bigger question. Oh, I did want to talk about. I thought this was a little thing, and it blew up before today. I saw something on the Blaze. So, you know, we've been in crypto for a long time, and 5-7 years ago, Bitcoin is impenetrable. Bitcoin is impenetrable, and then not if we have quantum computing. And we're like, dude, it's gonna take so many years to get quantum computing to where at that level, and you can't even do the research for it unless you do it in space, because you can't do it unless you have absolute zero. Oh man, I didn't even want to go into this. I didn't even connect those two things. Okay. Shit. Okay, so that was the thing, right? Now Google came out with this chip called Willow, which is supposedly a quantum computing chip. And it can do over 100 qubits of processing power, which when they explain it, you can watch this on the Blaze. That I watched this. That he said that it everything we think of and we do is linear, and everything that quantum computing does is vertical, and it does everything at the same time, but that it has to do that by opening other dimensions, by computing through other dimensions. That is doing this now. Google's doing this right now. That it's basically computation and quantum physics and quantum computation together. Uh, that's what I named my dog after there, dude. So this is right. This CERN kind of falls into it. Um, so that's this chip Willow, and you can go watch the thing on the Blaze. They just put it out a few hours ago. It is crazy, but it can break Bitcoin. Basically, is what I wanted to. So this is, I saw something on it a few days ago, last week, and I was like, here comes because they were using the word theoretical, and this can break Bitcoin easy. So I thought this is the last ditch effort to fight back against crypto that the legacy is going to do. Like we talked about, years and years ago about quantum computing, but how it would take so long, and but it's not. It's here. What they have right now, this chip that Google has developed, so this is, and this is something that he had a valid question. Um, they put in this age old question that would have taken all our computing power right now, like so many quintillion years. And that was always a joke that, yeah, you could break an encryption for a Bitcoin wallet, but it would take longer than the Earth has to survive. Like the sun would go supernova before you could do it. That was like the whole. I mean, I went to school for the at the University of Nicosia for cryptocurrency and blockchain tech, and that was one of the big things that Professor Antonopoulos talked about. How you can't do it on Earth because the Earth would cease to exist before it could break the code. But this Willow chip now, right now at 103 qubits, it can outperform our fastest and smartest computer by like quintillion, by a quintillion, which that's older. Quintillion is, it's like, I think 3 steps above trillion, which like the whole universe is only supposed to be like 13 billion years old. So it's like this huge crazy number. So I thought it was all theoretical, but now I'm hearing that Google has developed this chip. But the only way they could do that, I remember, was if they did this research in space. And then, on an unrelated thing, I saw this symposium on this guy that talked about these two black giant boxes that Google had, and people weren't allowed to go buy them. But inside, it was supposed to be like so cold, and that if you got close to the box, you could feel and hear a heartbeat. I forget what they're called. I got to look it up now because I didn't put the two together until I started talking about this, which I didn't even like when I was going to bring this up. Um, but I think it. I thought it was just a way for the media to talk crap about Bitcoin. But now I want to look into this more. We can talk about it maybe more next week. But you should look into it.
Interesting. My thoughts are like, if that was true, they probably wouldn't be talking about it. They would just do it and break Bitcoin.
Yeah, but that's a different thing. But if they've developed any kind of quantum computing chip, they shouldn't be able to. 3 or 4 years ago, it was not theoretic. It was only super theoretical.
That's why I'm saying I think it's a bunch of talk.
So I want to look into it because they've brought it out, and I mean they're talking about it on super left news, and the Blaze is pretty right. They're very right. And the fact that he's going over it, I thought was pretty crazy. I stopped watching it because we had to, I had to come and get stuff set up for us. But I do want to look into that because like I said, look into it. It's Google. The chip is called Willow, which is my dog's name, so that also creeps me out. But they shouldn't have been able to make anything like it. they're big black cute, and it was just something I watched, and it was like, oh, that's weird, crazy,
That's
probably
the
probably
big black
demonic
cube
stuff.
makes me think of the Saturn thing or the
Well,
big Jewish thing.
it's probably demonic thing. That's the
Yeah,
thing
the
they said.
demonic thing.
They said that because this guy was saying that it's like some kind of demonic power that they're using, and I was like, why would they use demonic power to make something super cold? Now, when I'm thinking about the freaking chip and how they had to have this super cold, because he said it's almost absolute zero, and to run a real quantum computer, you have to have absolute zero or just close to it. That was always the thing that I learned from my professor. It has to be almost absolute zero. You can just say it's absolute zero because it's so close to it. We all have this on Will. It's theoretic capabilities. Yeah, but they're coming out. That's the thing, dude. So much is being exposed. So I'm a little bit. I don't know. Like you said, the next 4 years we have a lot that's gonna happen. Please hit the like button. It was very great to hang out with everybody. I love you all very much. Hopefully things are changing and going to be better. We shall see. Where's the King of the Hill one? That's funny. Go with that one. Hey man, I'm telling you, man, you gotta get yourself some of that Bitcoin, man. You go on the internet, you click, you got to steal some Bitcoin, put in your wallet, and you holler, they call it holler, you holler that, and get money, and go